to the Gen AI podcast by Addlly AI, where we unpack how AI is changing marketing, search, brand visibility, and digital strategy. For those who are new here, Addlly AI is a Singapore-based agentic AI company. We help enterprises understand and improve how their brands appear across AI search platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, and other generative AI engines. Our platform helps brands audit, plan, and execute their AI visibility strategy. In simple terms, we help companies understand where they are showing up in AI-generated answers, where competitors are being cited instead, and what needs to be fixed across content, structure, and authority signals. Today, we're looking at a question that more marketing teams are starting to ask. Why do some brands appear again and again in AI-generated answers, while others seem almost invisible? You may have noticed this already. Ask ChatGPT for the best project management tools, and certain names keep appearing. Ask Perplexity about skincare brands for sensitive skin, and a familiar group of brands keeps coming up. Ask Gemini for B2B marketing automation recommendations, and once again, the same companies often dominate the answer. Meanwhile, other brands, including brands with good products, strong teams, and decent SEO, simply do not appear. That is creating a very different kind of visibility gap. At Addlly AI, we spend a lot of time analyzing how brands appear across AI platforms, why some companies are repeatedly cited, and what signals influence AI-generated recommendations. One thing has become increasingly clear. AI engines do not think about visibility the same way traditional search engines do. So, in this episode, we'll break down what drives AI familiarity, why some brands become easy for AI systems to retrieve, and what marketers can do to improve their chances of being mentioned. Let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions in marketing right now. Many marketers still assume AI search works like Google search. They imagine there is an invisible leaderboard where brands compete for position 1, position 2, and position 3. But AI retrieval works differently. Traditional search engines rank web pages. AI systems retrieve patterns. That difference matters. When someone searches on Google, they usually get a list of links ranked by relevance, authority, backlinks, technical signals, freshness, and many other factors. But when someone asks ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or Perplexity a question, the AI is not simply returning a list of links. It is trying to generate an answer. To do that, it draws from information patterns it has seen, learned, or retrieved across the broader information ecosystem. In other words, the AI is not only asking which page ranks highest, it is closer to asking which brands are consistently associated with this topic across trusted and relevant sources. That changes the game. Visibility is no longer only about ranking on your own website. It is about whether your brand appears repeatedly, clearly, and credibly across the places AI systems use to understand a category. This explains why some brands with average SEO may still show up often in AI answers. They may not dominate Google rankings, but they dominate informational presence. They are mentioned in articles, reviews, reports, videos, communities, directories, comparison pages, and discussions. The AI sees them again and again, and over time, that repeated presence makes them easier to retrieve. One of the strongest drivers of AI visibility is repetition. Not keyword stuffing, not old-school SEO repetition, but repetition across credible and relevant sources. Think about how humans develop familiarity. If you keep seeing a company mentioned in news articles, LinkedIn discussions, industry reports, YouTube reviews, Reddit threads, comparison blogs, podcasts, conference panels, and customer conversations, you begin to associate that brand with a category. AI systems work in a similar way. The more consistently a brand appears in relevant contexts, the easier it becomes for AI systems to connect that brand with a topic, problem, use case, or product category. This is what we often call AI familiarity. Some brands become highly familiar to AI systems because they appear everywhere that matters. Other brands remain fragmented, inconsistent, or absent. And here is the important part. AI familiarity is cumulative. One excellent blog post will rarely change everything, but dozens of connected signals over time can make a real difference. For example, imagine a SaaS company that publishes useful expert articles. Those articles get referenced in newsletters. Users discuss the platform in Reddit threads. Review sites mention it repeatedly. Industry directories categorize it correctly. YouTube creators compare it with competitors. Analysts include it in market roundups. Individually, each signal may seem small. Collectively, they create recognizability. The AI starts seeing that brand repeatedly associated with a category or use case, and that can increase the likelihood of the brand being retrieved in relevant answers. This is one of the biggest strategic shifts marketers need to understand. In the AI era, visibility is ecosystem-driven. For years, SEO strategies focused heavily on owned media. Your blog, your landing pages, your product pages, your domain authority. All of that still matters, but it is no longer the full picture. AI systems often draw from a much broader information network. That can include blogs, forums, PR mentions, review platforms, directories, social discussions, third-party articles, community sites, video transcripts, Q&A platforms, and industry reports. This is where things get interesting. AI systems often look for corroboration. If multiple independent sources describe your brand in a similar way, confidence increases. Let's say your company claims to be a leading AI visibility platform. On its own, that is marketing copy. But if review sites, industry blogs, comparison articles, conference summaries, customer discussions, and external reports also describe your company in that context, the signal becomes stronger. Now the AI sees consistency, and consistency helps retrieval. This is why some smaller brands outperform larger competitors in AI-generated recommendations. It is not always because they have a bigger advertising budget. It may be because they have a stronger distribution of information. Their brand exists across multiple surfaces, not just on their own website. At Addlly AI, we often see companies that invest heavily in SEO but ignore the wider citation ecosystem. Then they wonder why AI platforms rarely mention them. From the AI's perspective, the brand may barely exist outside its own domain, and that is a problem. Because in AI search, isolation does not look like authority. Now let's talk about structure. Even when brands create useful content, many make it unnecessarily difficult for AI systems to interpret. AI retrieval works best when information is clear, structured, and semantically consistent. That means using clear headings, specific terminology, consistent product descriptions, organized FAQs, defined use cases, schema markup, structured metadata, direct answers, and strong entity clarity. AI systems are not just scanning for keywords. They are trying to understand relationships. What does this company do? Which category does it belong to? Who does it serve? What problems does it solve? How is it different? Which alternatives or competitors is it compared with? When content is vague, inconsistent, or overloaded with generic marketing language, it becomes harder for AI systems to confidently understand and reference the brand. For example, many websites say things like, "Transforming the future of innovation through intelligent experiences." It sounds polished, but it tells the AI very little. Compare that with an AI visibility platform helping enterprise brands improve citations across generative search engines. That is specific. It is retrievable. It is easier to understand. The clearer the semantic signals, the easier it becomes for AI systems to connect your brand with relevant queries. Consistency matters as well. If one page calls your platform an AI assistant, another calls it a content automation engine, another calls it a marketing intelligence platform, and another describes it as a digital optimization suite, The AI receives mixed signals. Humans can usually work around ambiguity. Machines are less forgiving. If your category, product, and use case language keeps changing, your brand becomes harder to retrieve with confidence. At this point, a useful framework starts to emerge. There are two broad types of brands in AI search: invisible brands and AI familiar brands. Invisible brands may still get website traffic. They may still rank on Google. They may still run successful paid campaigns. But AI systems rarely retrieve them because the broader information signals are weak. These brands often share a few patterns. They have limited third-party mentions. Their category association is unclear. Their messaging is inconsistent. Their informational coverage is thin. Their entity clarity is weak. There is little community discussion around them. And they do not appear often in the sources AI systems may rely on. AI familiar brands look different. They show up repeatedly across trusted environments. Their positioning is consistent. Their products and services are clearly defined. Their expertise is reinforced by external sources. Their informational footprint extends beyond owned channels. Most importantly, they become easier for AI systems to recognize, contextualize, and retrieve. For many marketing teams, this is a strategic wake-up call. AI visibility is not only about what you publish on your own website. It is also about how clearly and consistently your brand is understood across the wider web. The future of visibility is no longer controlled entirely by rankings. It is increasingly shaped by information presence. And presence is distributed. That means marketers need to think less like publishers of web pages and more like builders of connected authority signals. At Addlly AI, this is why AI visibility analysis matters. Not just, did we appear? But, where did competitors appear? Which sources influenced retrieval? What entities are associated with our category? Where are citation gaps forming? Which conversations exclude us completely? Those insights are valuable because they reveal not just visibility problems, but familiarity problems. And familiarity is much harder to fake. So, what can marketers do practically? First, expand beyond traditional SEO thinking. SEO still matters, but AI visibility requires a broader information strategy. Second, strengthen multi-source presence. AI systems do not rely on one source alone. Brands need to appear across a wider network of trusted environments, including PR, expert commentary, third-party articles, community discussions, review platforms, industry directories, podcasts, videos, and structured educational content. Third, improve semantic consistency. Your category definitions, product positioning, use case explanations, and messaging should align across your website, PR, listings, sales materials, social channels, and third-party mentions. Fourth, structure your content for retrieval. Use clear answers, strong headings, specific language, defined entities, well-organized FAQs, and structured data where relevant. Fifth, monitor AI visibility directly. Different AI engines retrieve differently. Your brand may appear in one platform and disappear in another. You may be cited for one category but absent from another. You may appear for branded queries but not for high-intent category queries. Without monitoring AI visibility directly, many brands assume they are doing better than they are. This is one of the reasons companies are now turning to GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. Not because SEO has disappeared, but because AI retrieval has introduced a second layer of discoverability. At Addlly AI, we help brands analyze how they appear across generative search platforms, identify citation gaps, understand why competitors are being mentioned, and create the content and authority signals needed to improve retrievability. Because understanding the problem is useful, but fixing it is where the real advantage begins. So, to recap, AI systems do not rank brands the same way search engines rank web pages. They retrieve patterns of authority. Repetition across trusted sources builds familiarity. Multi-source presence strengthens retrieval confidence. Structured and consistent content improves understanding. And the brands that win in AI search are often the ones that become easiest for AI systems to recognize, contextualize, and trust. The real question for marketers is no longer only, do we rank? It is, does the AI know us well enough to mention us? If you want to understand how your brand appears across AI platforms, Addlly AI helps enterprises audit, analyze, and improve AI visibility across the evolving generative search landscape. Visit addly.ai to learn more, and in the coming episodes, we'll go deeper into the next step. Once a GEO audit reveals where your brand is missing, misrepresented, or losing citations to competitors, how do you actually fix those gaps? We'll break down how brands can improve their owned content, strengthen third-party signals, structure pages for AI retrieval, and move from audit to execution in a practical, measurable way. Thanks for listening to the Gen AI podcast by Addlly AI. Subscribe for more conversations on AI visibility, generative search, and the future of digital marketing.